The process of making homemade pizza from scratch. Introduction. There's nothing quite like the aroma of freshly baked pizza wafting through the kitchen, and the satisfaction of creating a delicious, homemade pie from scratch. While it may seem daunting at first, making pizza at home is a rewarding and enjoyable process that allows you to customize the flavors and ingredients to suit your personal preferences. In this article, we'll guide you through the step-by-step process of making homemade pizza from scratch, from preparing the dough to assembling and baking the final product. Gathering the ingredients to make homemade pizza from scratch. You'll need the following ingredients: flour. All-purpose flour or bread flour work well for creating the perfect pizza dough. Yeast. Active dry yeast or instant yeast will help the dough rise and develop a chewy texture. Water. Warm water is essential for activating the yeast and bringing the dough together. Salt. A small amount of salt enhances the flavor of the dough. Olive oil. Optional. Adding a bit of olive oil can help create a richer, more flavorful dough. Tomato sauce. Your choice of canned or homemade tomato sauce will serve as the base for your pizza. Cheese. Shredded mozzarella is a classic choice, but you can also experiment with other types of cheese. Toppings. The possibilities are endless. Pepperoni, mushrooms, onions, peppers, and more. Preparing the dough. Activate the yeast. In a small bowl or measuring cup, combine the warm water, around 110 degrees Fahrenheit per 43 degrees Celsius, with the yeast. Stir gently and let the mixture sit for 5 to 10 minutes, until it becomes frothy and bubbly. Mix the dough. In a large bowl, combine the flour and salt. Create a well in the center and pour in the activated yeast mixture and olive oil, if using a wooden spoon or your hands. Gradually mix the ingredients together until a shaggy dough forms. Knead the dough. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface and knead it for about 5 to 10 minutes, until it becomes smooth, elastic, and no longer sticks to your hands. You can also use a stand mixer with a dough hook attachment for this step. First rise. Place the dough in a lightly greased bowl, cover it with a damp towel or plastic wrap, and let it rise in a warm, draft-free area for 1 to 2 hours, or until it has doubled in size. Punch down in second rise. Once the dough has risen, punch it down to release any air bubbles. Cover the dough and let it rise for an additional 30 minutes to 1 hour, or until it has doubled in size again. Shaping and assembling the pizza. Preheat the oven. Preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit 230 degrees Celsius with a pizza stone or baking sheet inside, if you have one. This will help create a crisp, evenly cooked crust. Divide the dough. Punch down the dough to release any remaining air bubbles. Divide the dough into 2 equal portions if you want to make 2 smaller pizzas, or keep it as one for a larger pie. Shape the dough. Lightly flour a clean surface and use your hands or a rolling pin to stretch and shape the dough into a round or rectangular pizza crust, depending on your preference. Be gentle to avoid tearing the dough. Transfer the dough. Carefully transfer the shaped dough to a lightly greased baking sheet or pizza peel, if using a pizza stone. If the dough is sticking, you can lightly dust the surface with more flour. add the toppings. Spread the tomato sauce evenly over the dough, leaving a small border around the edges. Top with the shredded mozzarella and any additional toppings of your choice. Baking the pizza. Bake the pizza. Slide the pizza, either on the baking sheet or the pizza stone, into the preheated oven. Bake for 12 to 15 minutes, or until the crust is golden brown and the cheese is melted and bubbly. Check and rotate. About halfway through the baking time, rotate the pizza to ensure even cooking. If the crust is browning too quickly, you can lower the oven temperature slightly. Finish with a broil. For an extra crispy crust and melted cheese, you can finish the pizza with a quick broil for 1 to 2 minutes, keeping a close eye on it to prevent burning. Let it rest. Once the pizza is out of the oven, let it rest for a few minutes before slicing and serving. This will allow the cheese to set and the crust to firm up. Variation and customization. One of the best things about making homemade pizza is the ability to customize it to your taste. Here are some ideas for variations and customizations. Dough variations: whole wheat flour or a blend of all-purpose and whole wheat flour for a heartier crust. Sourdough starter for a tangy, chewy crust. Adding herbs, garlic, or other seasonings to the dough. Sauce variations: pesto, barbecue sauce, or Alfredo sauce as the base. Homemade marinara or crushed tomatoes. Topping variations: meats, pepperoni, sausage, bacon, chicken, etc. Vegetables: mushrooms, onions, peppers, olives, arugula, etc. Cheeses: Parmesan, feta, goat cheese, etc. Specialty toppings: pineapple, anchovies, caramelized onions, etc. Cooking methods: using a pizza stone or steel for a crispy, restaurant-style crust. Grilling the pizza for a smoky flavor. Baking the pizza on a preheated cast iron skillet for a thick, Detroit-style crust. Tips for success: allow ample time for the dough to rise, as this is crucial for developing the right texture and flavor. Use high-quality ingredients, such as fresh mozzarella, to elevate the overall taste of your pizza. Experiment with different types of flour, sauces, and toppings to find your perfect homemade pizza combination. Invest in a pizza peel or baking steel if you plan on making homemade pizza regularly, as they can greatly improve the crust texture. Preheat your oven and baking surface thoroughly to ensure the pizza cooks evenly. Keep a close eye on the pizza while it's in the oven, as cooking times may vary depending on your oven and the toppings used. Conclusion: making homemade pizza from scratch is a rewarding and delicious experience that allows you to create a customized masterpiece tailored to your taste buds. By following the step-by-step process outlined in this article, you'll be well on your way to producing perfectly baked, cheesy pizzas that will impress your family and friends. Remember to have fun with the process, experiment with different ingredients and techniques, and enjoy the satisfying results of your homemade pizza creations.